Welcome back to the Roxy Pro. Round 1 underway. Heat 3 hitting the lineup with our two-time world champion Tyler Wright making her first appearance here at Snapper Rocks. In the Roxy Pro, Ronnie Blakey with Peter Mel. Call these next couple of heats for you. And they should be very interesting indeed. The coach for both those competitors. Once they put a full-time coach in their corner, the results started coming and they started to fulfill that potential.
For to make sure they don't get in. Putting in the work themselves.
But it certainly looks like Carissa's tapped into sort of vintage form and ready to take it to her rivals again in 2018. As we see Malia up. Such a clean style. She's going to bring this one right through to the inside. Not much happening on that ride, but once you're committed, you're kind of making your way down the line.
It didn't end up in Greenmount, but luckily for them, they've got the skis.
Well, Bianca Buitendag just trying to hang on. Point break. She has fantastic flow. Tyler Wright now getting a chance out the back. That wave shutting down, but a couple of decent turns before the wave came to an end. Well, one person that looks like they've made some really positive changes, especially in just their approach out there on the open face, is Carissa Moore. She's with Strider.
Thank you, Ronnie. Yeah, well, Carissa starting out the year with an excellent score there. I mean, absolutely going ballistic out there.
Those new venues, you know, play a role in that world title.
They sure do. Tyler Wright up, trying to get rid of a throwaway, 0.37. So she was third in line for priority, and I think she just decided to get one and get down the line and just hope to rack up something reasonable in the process.
Well, you had touched on maybe she gets a section here.
Yeah, she connected well. Drawn out roundhouse cutback. The wave not really steep enough to turn that into a major maneuver. But it is running off nicely, and she executes that one with a bit more speed and a bit more authority. And you know that the men are doing the same thing, watching the women surf, because, you know, Felipe Toledo, you've seen him, Adriana de Souza there. Every time Silvana's surfing the heat, they're watching her closely. And, well, everyone relishes the opportunity to see Stephanie Gilmore, the Queen of Snapper Rocks, compete here, because she always puts up big numbers, but she has a better read on this wave than a lot of the men on the Championships Tour as well. So, you know, that's someone you can definitely draw inspiration from.
So watch this replay here again, that inside section there. Adding some points to this wave. Not going to be a huge number, but, you know, you given the opportunity, and she was carrying a 0.37. Let's see what the outside section looked like for Malia. Had to deal with the whitewater left from the previous wave that Tyler rode. This one hugged the bank on this inside section all right, but when you have all that whitewater on the face, it can be a bit of a challenge to really execute major maneuvers, because there's all that bounce and your board wants to drift and it really doesn't feel that positive under your feet. But again, she finds a way to get to that clean water on this inside section. But with the little fuller tide, really that was probably one of the better sections she got. And now on the backhand, Bianca Buitendag, who has surfed very well at Snapper Rocks with that backhand, so comfortable. Uses that backhand technique to go up vertical like most backsiders can and execute a lot of power.
Some movement here from Tyler Wright. She had a 3.83 on that last wave. This one's going to be difficult to surf. A lot of foam on the face. And she does well. Gets a bit of release in that tail. And mixing things up nicely through to the inside, but this has really been a difficult wave to ride.
Yeah, and she was hoping that what would happen is that she saw down the line that there was a lot of energy coming back onto the bank and hoping that it would get into some clear water. And when finally the wave cleared up, she would have had a good section, but it just didn't quite happen for her.
Always so deadly at this location, as we see on the outside. Malia taking off late here. Nice looking wall. Beautiful smooth setup carve. Bit of bump to deal with there. And this wave is now starting to stretch out. So a good size set, Pete, but difficult to ride as a result.
Yeah, difficult to ride, like wake a little bit, but then that last section too, you know, you hope that she was going to go up and kind of finish that wave. And I think she could have added a good 1.5, maybe 2 points with a good final closeout move, but she decided to stay away from it.
but these competitors, they need something that's going to give them a bit of room to move so they can throw down a big major turn. Tyler takes off and tucks into the barrel deep in this one. Close to finding the exit. The bottom drops out of these waves pretty quickly.
It does. You know, it looked like it stayed open enough, but I just don't think she quite had enough drive. For me, just hands down, Carissa Moore, the environment that she grew up in, you know, surfing in Hawaii over the shallow reefs. I think she's probably one of the best tube riders. We saw it on display when they had that exhibition heat at the Pipe Masters, where she just went out there and the conditions just turned right on, and she was able to get in the back door. And that's one of the most challenging waves in the world to ride. You know, a woman-only event. That was actually, you know, geared for everybody, and she got Barrel of the Year, and it was incredible. And I got to see it live, and that was one of those waves you're like, oh no, she didn't just pull in and then all of a sudden to come out like that and get, oh, it was amazing.
This heat's coming to a close, and Tyler Wright, she's done just enough to get herself a victory here in the first round. Manuel, she was right in it to the final stages. Bianca wasn't too far behind either. The two-time world champion, just so sharp, adjusting well, and getting the job done here in Heat 3 of round 1.